Welcome to episode 10 of Bandwagon. I'm your host, Eric Nelson. I want to thank Taylor Purdue for stopping by on our last episode. It was good to catch up with him and do a little jamming with him. He's got some really good original stuff, and I'm really excited to hear about how that sounds once he gets into the studio and gets some of that laid down. I also want to thank Owen Justice and Lizzie Roberts, our producers of Bandwagon, and of course, our executive producer, Skinny Webb. They always make everything sound and look so great, and can't appreciate them enough. My next guest is somebody who's very special to me. He's been playing for over 50 years, and every time he takes the stage, I am still amazed at how good he sounds and what a professional he is. And I am fortunate enough to be able to call him my friend, my father-in-law, and my bandmate. So wow. It's like the trifecta of awesome, right?
It's a hat trick, man.
Yeah. Well, with no further ado, for those of you who don't already know him, which a lot of you probably will when you see him, is Dan Sullivan.
Hello.
So welcome.
Thank you, bud.
Yeah, and I said over 50 years, and that's a long time. And I say it looks easy. I know it's not. It takes, it's like riding a bike if you practice, but it's like riding a bike over a cliff if you don't, as far as I'm concerned, So.
Well, it's hard, but it's easy at the same time if you love it. If you love music.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so forth,
yeah.
And I do.
Right on.
But yeah, I've been very fortunate, very blessed. Been doing this. I think I had my first professional paying gig, at least, in summer of 1969.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. How old were you? Well, if you don't mind me asking. 15.
I was 15.
Okay. 15 years old. Cool. Cool. And when did you start playing then? Much before that?
When I was about 13.
About 13?
About 13. Started playing when I was still living in New Jersey with my folks.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a little guitar combo thing for Christmas and so forth. And of course, like most of the people in my age group who play and became musicians, the Beatles were my first inspiration. When I saw them, I was 10 in 1964, and right after that, I wanted some guitar lessons. And at that time, we were living in Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay.
And my folks got me some lessons there in town, and they had this rental guitar they gave me which was a beat-up, crummy acoustic guitar.
Yeah, I'm sure it was set
in
up
1965, and it was set up beautifully with action about that high off of the fingerboard. And of course, I could not make it work at 10 years old.
Yeah.
And so that was a short-lived thing. And then 3 years later, after we made that move to New Jersey, they gave me an electric guitar with a little amp, and so I was able to make sounds come out of that easier and so forth.
Oh, cool. And
I imagine probably my first song I ever learned was probably a Beatles tune, I'm guessing. I don't remember what it was. Might have been Louie Louie. I don't know. Yeah.
What was the name of your first band? Do you remember?
Yes, it was myself and a drummer friend of mine named Bob Smith and another guy that played guitar named Dan Lanowski in Shenandoah, Iowa. This was when we were 15.
Yeah.
And we got together and had a little band called Sun Fox.
Sun Fox. Any reason behind it? Just sounds cool.
An older hippie friend of ours suggested it, so we thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, cool. Right on.
That's a true story.
Can't go wrong. Perfect times, too.
Yep.
So how many bands would you say you've been in since then? I mean, roughly, ballpark.
Not really that many.
Yeah?
Most of the bands I've ever been in stayed together a long time.
Yeah.
I was in a pretty popular local band back in the 70s called Union County Band.
Mm-hmm.
Stayed in southwest Iowa mostly, played some in Omaha. That band was together for 5 years. Then I got with the Merwin Lee Band. If any of you are in this age group, you probably remember that. I was in that band for a few years. Played country rock during this period, country and country rock, a lot of that, mixed in with some, various other things. But let's see. After that, then I got into a band that stayed together for 12 years, and we played. It was a real popular dance band here in the area called High Heel and the Sneakers, and we were together from 1980 through '92. And then an offshoot of that band was a band called Living Proof, where we did mostly original music, and I had some of my high heel bandmates in that.
Yeah.
One in particular, John Rogers.
Yep.
And we did our main focus with that was original music. So we did about half and half, but we played a lot and traveled around the area. We were able to get to be finalists in a songwriting competition down in Memphis.
Cool.
In
Awesome.
'94, I believe that was. And so that was a good experience. We wrote some pretty cool songs, I think, and recorded a live album over at the I don't know what it's called, but it's the PBS television station in Lincoln,
Okay.
in front of a live audience, and so that was fun.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure that sounded great too.
It was a good band. We had good music, good folks, good singers, good everything, and we worked hard at it too. Gosh, after that, I'm trying to think. I don't want to talk too much about it because
Well, now Peace, Love, and
Let's see.
Etc. When did that come into play? How much farther?
Peace,
down the
Love,
road?
Etc. came later. We kind of went our separate ways for a while there, and I was in various little bands for way shorter periods of time. And at that time, I was, I went back to school to get a degree and all that stuff while I was playing and while I was working during the day and blah blah blah. And JR went on to form Acoustic Groove in the late '90s, I believe. JR, when I say that, it's John Rogers. That band is still together.
Yeah.
They still play, and at least a couple of times a month. And I played with them for about 4 years. There was a 4-year stint I did with them. And then, various things going on and everything. And then the next band with longevity that I was in was Peace, Love, Etc. And it had about an 8 or 9 year run.
Nice.
And that was with JR and our original drummer from High Heel and, some other wonderful musicians and singers. Mary Francis.
Yeah.
People like that.
She's great.
Just wonderful. And since then, and then after that, I hooked up with an old high school girlfriend, got married, and moved back home.
Yes. Yes.
In 2016, I moved back. But so I've been back in Southwest Iowa, living 3 miles west of Shenandoah ever since then.
Yep. And you've been doing some work with Union County Trio as of late.
Yeah.
And we'd work together,
Yes.
doing a duo right now, working on getting that trio thing solid going, doing that.
Yep.
When spring starts rolling around.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
Ready to do
that.
that. Yeah, we're in the studio right now. Well, we were in the studio, and we the last couple months have been so busy and crazy with everybody's schedule. So we'll pick that back up. That'll be exciting, though. Here fairly soon we'll probably start doing that again.
Wintertime is hard on us musicians, especially as you get older.
Yeah.
Don't want to stay home more.
Oh, one thing I want to mention too before, also, during that time, you also were the pro shop manager at Dietz for 18 years as well. So.
Yes, I worked at Dietz from '99 through into 2017, so about 18 years, and wonderful Nebraska, iconic, business that's been around for almost 100 years.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing.
And they're amazing place, amazing people. And I'm still, in fact, I was just there yesterday.
Yeah, you're always in and out of a music store.
Always. But that afforded me the opportunity to learn a lot about a lot of things. But I got to network with a lot of wonderful musicians and people during that period of time as well.
Yeah.
And so that was a pretty neat experience.
Cool. Well, what would you say, like, if you were to pick something or a couple things out of your highlight reel over the last 50 years? Is there anything in particular that that stands out?
Well,
Like one of your favorite times, or?
Well, we just, we had so many hundreds of wonderful gigs over the years. I can't really pick any,
Yeah.
With High Heel and with other bands, I was afforded the wonderful opportunity of opening for a lot of big touring acts and so forth. And so that was always a nice thing.
Nice, very cool.
Everybody from, Greg Allman to Alabama, Badfinger,
Cool.
Tim McGraw. A wide swath
Yeah,
of different people and everything. That was kind of fun.
That's awesome.
A lot of that was fun.
That's awesome. So I'll just ask you one more thing, maybe we can play a song. What are some of the biggest changes over the 50 years? Is there any like big changes, like how the industry's changed, or, you know, the music scene, or?
Boy, that's a tough one. Yeah, there's always change, I think. I mean, it all boils down to good songs.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're talking about any genre of music, whether it's blues or country or jazz or anything, good songs are at the root of everything.
Yeah.
Always have been, always will be. I myself have become more interested in acoustic music, roots music, Americana. I don't know what they're calling it this year.
Yeah.
And you know, instruments that you know, I mean, like I picked this up about 5 years ago. You know, I play a lot of guitar still, but
Yeah.
this has kind of become a second instrument to me, and I'm trying to play some dobro and some banjo and this, that, and the other thing. So, yeah, just I'm enjoying my retirement. I've got a wonderful wife, Jan, that supports me in everything I do and enables me to you know, do what I do. So I really appreciate that. I'm very blessed,
Yes,
and I'm
you are.
really blessed to be able to work with this fella here
Oh, thanks.
because he's very talented.
Well, thank you. And when I asked you about doing this, I said, well, what song do you want to do? And you selected one of mine, and I was like, well, I really don't want to self-promote my song. That kind of feels weird. But then you said, well, I really don't want to talk about myself. And I'm glad we compromised, or we wouldn't have had a show to do.
Well, I haven't really, you know, I do more arranging nowadays and instrumental writing and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And most of the songs that I wrote, I did during the 80s and 90s, frankly. And I thought, let's do something now that's current, that we're working on, that's going to be on your new album, and I won't have to sing. So,
Yeah,
so I'll
perfect.
sit here, you know, and play some mandolin. That's
Perfect.
it.
Well, thank you for coming on, Dan. I really appreciate it, and I know I'll see you probably within the next couple of days. So.
You probably will.
All right. It's good to
bless
see
you,
you,
Sonny.
buddy. We're going to play a song called Save Yourself. Oh, and before we do the song, I wanted to also bring up one thing in your career that you should be very proud of, and I know you are, is being in the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah. I've actually been lucky enough, blessed enough to be inducted twice. Once with the High Heel and the Sneakers band I spoke of earlier in 2017, and again in 2019 as an individual. And I'm what they call an area representative with the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In other words, I help work on promotional things and so forth like that. And while I'm mentioning that, I will offer some heartfelt congratulations to Eric here. He has just been made a board member of the Iowa Rock and Roll Music Association.
Thank you very much.
And that's kind of a big deal because they are the movers and shakers that make everything happen and make all of the major decisions about, you know, who gets inducted, who gets hired to play, things like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big deal, it's a big honor. And
It certainly is, and I really appreciate it. It truly is an honor. And, you know, it's brand new to me, so I'm just dipping my toes in at this time. So I know I have a lot to learn, and I will, but I'm going to roll up my sleeves and get to it. So.
yeah, in the trio I play with two other Hall of Fame inductees, Rick Hilliard is another board member, and he'll take you by the hand and kind of walk you through some stuff. And also Troy Johnson, our bass player, who's also an inductee. I wanted to mention that while we were talking about
Troy's
that.
a great guy.
We have a lot of fun. We play a lot around the area. So
Cool.
that's all.
Anything else?
That's it.
All righty.
Except my phone is ringing in my coat in the back of the black. If anybody heard
That's all right.
George Thorogood back there, that's my ringtone. So
That's all right.
it's doing it again.
Yeah.
Must be a telemarketer.
Man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I know you think that you know what's best for me. Don't wanna spend my life just waiting on eternity. Oh, I hope you're right. Hope there's more than this. Oh, I don't mean to offend you when I say save yourself, save yourself. I get high when I'm low, I keep the whiskey on the top shelf. Lord, forgive me, it's not that I don't care. I'll be just fine, but I'm glad to know you care. So you see, I'm a sinner and my life is in the red. Oh, I just don't wanna live before I'm dead. Oh, I hope I'm wrong, I hope there's more than this. Oh, I don't mean to offend you when I say save yourself, save yourself. I get high when I'm low, I keep the whiskey on the top shelf. Lord, forgive me, it's not that I don't care, or someone else in me can have my prayer. I hope you're right. I hope there's more than this. Oh, I don't mean to offend you when I say save yourself, save yourself. I get high when I'm low, I keep the whiskey on the top shelf. Lord, forgive me, it's not that I don't care, I'll be just fine, but I'm glad to know you care. I'll be just fine,